Okay. Yeah, you're nervous?
No, now I'm not.
So it's like a Letao.
Letao, yeah.
Letao. It's a full name. It's not a short from anything.
It's my full name, yeah. Letao Wang, that's my name, yeah.
Okay.
The name on my passport, yes.
Yeah. It has some kind of meaning.
Yes, it does. Le means happiness. It's funny that you were just asking me about what happiness is. Le means happiness. Tao means cultivation. So they cultivate good character and personality. So then you put them together as Letao. Actually, it's not a very Chinese name. A lot of people ask me if this is Portuguese, and I said no, it's actually Chinese, but it's a very unique Chinese name.
Yeah.
I don't know any Letao actually.
Okay.
I'm the only one. Yeah. That's the unique part. Yeah.
One, two, 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 one, two. One. Can you see? Yep. One, two. Okay. Okay, done. So this one is okay.
It's funny that you were just asking me about.
Perfect. Everything's working properly. Good. Yeah. So welcome. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So for Powerhouse, today we have Letao. We mentioned something about happiness before. You can just kind of like refresh your name.
Right.
Yeah. What was because you mentioned?
Oh yeah. So my name is Letao.
How you spell it?
It's Letao. It's actually a very unique Chinese name. Le means happiness, and Tao means to cultivate. So cultivate personality, characters, to nurture something. So that's a name actually given by my mother. Yeah, I think that's her wishes for me. Yeah.
Do you think it's just like people live to their names, or the names they are kind of like adding something to them? If there's like some type of connection?
Well, it's always it started as the wish from the parents, right? So your parents will give you a name because they have certain wishes for you when you were born. And when you lead through your life, and usually you wouldn't think about that, right? I mean, when we're little, you never think, why is my name Letao, or why is her name Mack, right? People don't think about that. But when you grow older and you realize that actually there are certain things that in my name that is reflected through how I live my life. I think so. Yeah. But what is your name common?
So I was born in Poland, so we have some rules and regulations regarding what kind of names you can give, and especially I grew up Catholic, so you can choose from the names from the Bible. So it's one of some guys from the Bible.
Okay.
The half of my family is Jewish. The second one was converted to Catholicism, and so some something about a God, but I was not I was raised Catholic, but I stop in some way to just stop less you have your religion and you believe in one God, and later you just believe in less. I don't know. I'm kind of it's interesting subject because like the books and heroes what I growing up was it was called Five Horsemen. So it was Hitchens, Sam Harris. There was a lot of about Darwinism, those kind of stuff. and it's somebody who come from the side of the family who are really into science. It's kind of a struggle understanding religion and science. So but it's but that's the reason we have this kind of meeting. Because I want to talk to you about spirituality. From the personal point of view. The conversation what I have in the past, and I want to continue, is to introduce people who exist, but at the same time they represent more than people expecting. And then you're in some way. We don't really know each other long, but it's when you mention about what you do for people, you helping them. So I just want to always say thank you to anybody who helped somebody, because usually because people comes to you for hundreds of different reasons. And for somebody, for me, who X amount of the time switch from different industry what I do to the place of help, because some type of tragedy in my past. So I just want to have this opportunity to be in some way a teacher and healer. I don't want to take this names on me, but at the same time I know we need more help, we need more healers, we need more teachers. So can you just a little bit make bigger introductions? So for myself and for anybody who will be listening to this.
Sure. So I usually I call myself a spiritual counselor. So what I do is I do spiritual counseling with clients in Hong Kong, and then mainly the method that I use to do counseling is through astrology and tarot and other type of divinational tools. It is actually, a lot of people have, they have different ideas and opinions about what spiritual counseling is. I've got a lot of questions from people who come to me for the first time, and they ask me if I'm a fortune teller. Well, some people prefer to call me that, but it's actually not really not exactly the same
because
thing.
a fortune teller, it's automatically you making assumption. It's just this one dimension, and at the same time, I think it's making this kind of picture about a person who thinking this is what they need. I need the fortune.
Exactly.
And later you need to ask yourself, okay, can you give me this definition? What is fortune for you? If fortune is a health, if fortune is a dollar sign, what is the fortune?
Exactly. So people. So that is a very interesting misinterpretation of what spiritual counseling is, and basically from my point of view, what I do for clients is during the session, the first thing is I analyze the client's tendencies. So we all have our history, our past, and our the tendencies that we tend to do certain things and behave or react to certain situations. And when we go through life, and there are certain important events that we will meet with, and then either that could be a challenge, that could be something really difficult in terms of, could be physically difficult, could be emotionally difficult, mentally difficult. And how do we actually tap into our psychology so to react to those events, and so that we can actually find the best solution to things. And that's eventually what my session is about. And of course, there's a part of it, it's sometimes, I would make predictions for clients, but the prediction is more based on the client's tendencies. So a client is, for example, a very typical question a client will ask me is about their career development. And my session is not really about telling the clients, okay, so you're going to change jobs in 2 years. This is not about that. And I don't know either, to be honest. And my energy is to look at what they're doing at this moment, and then I will look at the alignment of the stars. Right? So how the stars are moving based on their natal chart, which is the alignment of the stars when they were born. I'll look at that, and according to there are certain theories in astrology. So
there's some type of cycles?
Cycles, yeah.
Okay.
So and you look at that, also based on numerology, it's the same. It's also based on your birthday. So look at the numbers. So what do you want to? I'm sorry for that. It's that's mean
those cycles will in some way repeat. So kind of like when you say like history have a tendency to repeat.
Exactly. Because I'm sure you have experienced things like when you go into a certain situation and, for example, we make some mistakes, right? And we do something that is wrong, and we realize, oh shit, I totally did that before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is not the second time I'm doing this, and this is so bad, right? So that's life itself is a repeated pattern.
Yeah.
And then the successful ones, they learn their past lessons and they know how to actually change, bring constructive transformation.
So they can. So if there is a cycles who are existing for them in the stars, they can even go faster through it.
They can make adjustments. So
Okay.
it's a little bit like, I give an analogy. It's a little bit like growing a plant. Let's say you have a potted plant, right? The seed is what you're born with. So everyone is that seed, right? And we're all, some people they were born in a rich family. They somehow they were blessed with a lot of things. Some people were not. They might have a very dysfunctional family. Alcoholic mother, whatever that is. So the seed is different. But what we grow up, the experience and the personal effort that we're making is sort of like how you water them and how to fertilize them. So eventually, we can all become amazing trees. Out there, yeah. But it depends on what each other's challenges are and what they need to. Yeah, and so that's exactly what my session is about, to actually sort of like looking into a mirror. Actually, I have clients saying that to me. A client said to me, she said, I feel your session is like forcing me to look into the mirror, to look at myself, and so that I become more aware, self-aware.
Yeah, reflections about yourself. Yeah,
absolutely. And that is what makes going back to the first topic that you mentioned about happiness, that gives me the fulfillment in my career.
Yeah, some people I think so see this when we talk on the beginning. In the religion, because you have those kind of like rituals. When you if you are Catholic at the end of the day, you start playing, you're going through the day. What I did wrong, what I did right, and you just kind of so you're doing this kind of daily reflection, but you're staying in your head.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes maybe you only have this opportunity to go to confession, and you're facing the priest. And I think it's like depends what kind of priest you have. Just tell you something else. Maybe they'll give you some extra notes, and sometimes you just say, I don't know.
I think actually religion, to be honest, spirituality never denies anything else, to be honest. I mean, we have never denied the religion. We never, of course, we wouldn't deny science. The one thing that I realized about religion is that it can be very helpful, like what you said in that way. But there's one thing about religion is very structured. It has a lot of rules. So, and of course it depends on what type of religion you're talking about. Some religions are more like philosophy, for example, Buddhism. Buddhism does not have as many rules as some religions. Some religions, they will set a very strong and strict structure for people to live by.
So can I make this kind of assumption? Somebody can live through their life and they don't even know, but they are Buddhists?
Of course.
Really?
Of course, yeah. Because Buddhism is like it's a Chinese philosophy actually. It started in Tibet, in that part of the region. But Buddhism is not, well, of course every religion has rules. So Buddhism is more about, it's very philosophical. It's about, appreciating the nature. It's looking and finding the relationship between human and the nature. It's a little bit like spirituality, because basically what spirituality is essentially about is to find the relationship between us, this physical being, and the higher power, or you call that the universe or the cosmos. So that's eventually that's the relationship between us, and how do we go through life and understand the energy actually around us. But religion is more set rules rather than that. I think this is a slight difference.
Yeah, because we're going through the life, and we want to achieve something, and then we're looking for the answers somewhere. How did you start with this?
Oh God, that's a very long story. Okay, so that has to start. Actually, I was also interested in listening to your opinion about this. Earlier you said to offer help to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. I think there's a very essential element in becoming a counselor or becoming whether you call it a healer or what, is that you have to be wounded first. You have to go through all the traumas and difficulties, and you have to feel that there's either a loss of your own sense of belonging, or you feel that there are difficulties in life. You have to understand the pain in life, and then you can understand other people's pain. People who has never experienced this kind of traumatic experience in life, it's very difficult for them to feel what other people feel. And I think that's the first thing. So before I started this, I was same as you, I worked in different industries. I was in finance, I was in commercial trading, I was also in IT. I tried all different kind of jobs, but I was very, very mediocre, and I hated about that part of me being mediocre, because there was something in my mind saying there's something for me to excel at. Yeah. But I didn't know what that was. So I followed what the society wanted. What my parents wanted. So my parents wanted me to, put on a suit, go to the bank, and be a banker, whatever. And I did that. Because
those jobs was created X amount of the time, and you have this fulfillment. But always new jobs, new opportunity coming. And the question is what we can do.
Yeah, well, new opportunities is actually, yes, it's one thing. And the other thing is, sometimes we have intuition, right? And sometimes we know that whether this works for me or not. But at that time, because I was actually in my early 20s after school, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I think it was around my, maybe 22 or 23, I was living in Sydney, Australia. And
so you're 22 living in
Australia, in Sydney.
But you are not originally from Australia?
No. I was actually, I moved to Australia actually at the age of 22.
22. Yeah. And before that?
Before that I was in Japan.
Japan.
So I was in Tokyo from 17 until 21, yeah.
And before 17?
And before that, from 12 until 16, I was in Beijing to do my high school. That was my high school time.
And before
Beijing? That, 6 to 12, I was in Japan again, to do my, for elementary school,
And before Japan?
Back in Beijing again,
Okay.
I was born in Beijing, yeah.
Oh, so you're originally from Beijing?
Yeah. So my parents are Chinese, yeah. So where was I? I was doing all those jobs, right? And I was feeling very, very unhappy. I was earning money, and you go out, go out to have fun, partying, whatever that is. But there's also a part of me feeling that just something that is lacking, and I was extremely unhappy to the point that I actually got very depressed. So when I was talking to a good friend of mine, I said, I haven't found what I want to do, and I'm already, around this age. And my friend said, he had a very different, point of view on it. He said, do you know that 90% of the population, they don't do what they love for a profession? Yes. And he said, that's normal. He said, if you have that high, ideal about you have to fulfill your calling in life, he said that might take a long time. Some people never find it in their lifetime. Yeah. My reaction was, I understand that, but no, I need to find my calling, there's something, I need to, because I didn't believe that the reason why my mother gave birth to me was to let me be mediocre and just, go through every day, pay my rent, and just, so, and then when I was in Sydney, my spiritual teacher actually...
So you had a spiritual teacher?
At the very beginning. So I met my teacher actually when I was in Sydney. Okay. But I was a client.
Yeah, but it's you were looking for him because you have those kind of feelings?
No, or it's serendipity. Completely serendipity. It was, I walked into his shop out of nothing. I was walking down the street. I didn't really know what I wanted. I was walking down the street with...
So like the middle of the week, after the work? It's like...
Yeah, I was still in graduate school at that time.
Oh, so you were at school still?
Yeah, I was still in school. And earlier when I was saying that I was confused about, working, that was after that. That was after, yeah. So I met my spiritual teacher first, actually, when I was, I think, 22 or 23. And I was a client, and he said, do you want to do a reading? I said, what is a reading? Because I've never done one. And he did one for me, and I didn't really believe it. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
well,